Well, Mr. Prime, I've got your watch in here. This was your father's 6105 slim case. Clearly original. Looks like your dad used to do some house painting in this thing. January 1970. Pretty late for a proof. Because here's February 1970, and it's resist. That's a service hand, don't worry about that. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? Look at that, there's your divide. Well, that's an 8000 though. This is an 8009. So this would have been, because the switch came from resist, from proof to resist because of American truth in advertising laws, so maybe it got switched earlier first for the 8009s. But that is interesting. Both of them have the fisheye pip, so we know that that's probably correct. But this watch had a working life, but it's intact, it's complete. Your insert is a little crushed right here. That happens. I see that. There isn't anything I can really do about that because there's a lot of pressure pushing in here. I'd have to pull the insert and try to flatten it out, and then it would just recrush when I put it back in. I'll look and see what it looks like underneath. Loom definitely took a beating. She's a runner. I'm going to be able to clean the loom up some. The top of the markers actually don't look bad. If you look at that reflection right there, you can see the flat tops and the high mirror polishes. Where you get problems is where it has heavy black, like that right there on that marker. See right there? That little heavy black pit right there, that's where you start losing plating. Sometimes it's hard to see. Where is, there we go. See these white marks in here? That's the salt from this loom. I'll clean these up as best as I can. You're still gonna have marks. I would not recommend relooming. Well, you've got a B movement in there. It acts. So that's a pretty rare combination as well. A hacking proof. This must be a really late proof. It's definitely the real deal. I'm just dipping into it. Right off. I don't see any servicing marks in here. Sealing surface looks good. Got some whale snot on the weight. This stuff, this is these are copper things that got pulled out of solution, pulled out of the metal here. Let's get some light on this. So you get moisture, it sits for a while, and then it pulls this stuff out, the copper out of the base metal of the weight. Yep, 1705B. There's going to be some moisture damage in here. Are we missing teeth on that ratchet wheel? Is that what I'm seeing there, or is it just rusty? I don't know, that one tooth looks a little short to me. Your case back seal, a little bit of life left in it. Your barrel has a lot of flop. I mean, actually, you've got more flop in your barrel than you do in your mainspring arbor. Because the inside of the barrel around the arbor, that also wears, especially when you have stuff like this in here. Yeah, you lost part of the tooth here. That's junk. It must have just sat there for a long time with a little bit of moisture on it. This might have been around underneath here, actually. And just sitting, if that's the case. You might need that intermediary, that reduction wheel. It's barely winding. Yeah, I think we're gonna, I mean, it's moving, but slightly. Wow. Yeah, so that ratchet wheel's definitely bad. Your barrel itself could be worn beyond usability. I just want to look at I bet this seal is in good shape. Yeah, that looks decent. I mean, the gasket's flattened, but that don't look bad. I wonder where the water was getting in. I bet you it was getting in through the crystal. Metal of the hands doesn't look bad. Hands should clean up pretty well. I don't see... Yeah. We can definitely improve it. My first 6105 was in this condition. Boy, it's amazing that it's running. Look at the rust look at the rust down there, or in the center. Yeah. Okay, well, we've got a runner. That's the good news. It's going to need... The movement's probably going to need some love. Typically does when we have this level of water intrusion, but I have seen darn it. I have seen far, far worse. I've seen far, far worse. There we go. There's that. Yeah, there's that whale snot. You're going to get some plating loss on the plates as well. Anywhere we have this kind of green stuff, I don't know. It depends. We're probably going to see more of this damage underneath. This weight will probably need to be replaced as well, simply because the plating is so bad. Just put this back here so we know where that is. Come on. Oh. Oh, look at that though. This late, and yet it's got an early style ring in it. Isn't that weird? Huh. It's got the early style, like early 68 movement ring, not the two-part later one, which is what it should have. Or what I believe it should have. From my experience, it would have. Well, that's pretty interesting. Okay, so we have a really late proof with a B movement. It's got fairly intense loom damage, but it has lots of potential. Movement's a runner. It's going to need full service. It's definitely going to need some replacement parts. Water does a number on these movements. This wasn't really water in the movement, but it's going to have, there's going to be some extra things. It's going to be some extra time to sort this out, and there are definitely going to be extra parts involved in bringing this back. But nice thing is I can do it, and I will. I wish I could give you a more definitive answer about what I'm going to see inside, but without really knowing anything, without ripping it apart yet, all I can tell you is that it's a runner. It's going to look cool when we're done. These are fantastic watches. They're my favorite 6105, and I just have a ton of love for them. So let's get your approval on whether or not you want to run forward with this, and we'll go from there. Thank you.